Hello friends, welcome to EduTap and also welcome to the series which we have started for IBPS AFO 2020-21 mains exam, that is agriculture, and this is lecture number 42. And friends, kindly note this is in continuation with our last lecture 41, wherein we have done half of the questions from IBPS AFO mains 2017 exam, and today we are going to do the rest half of the questions. So friends, this is from seeding, that is sowing. The process of placing seed in holes at definite depth at fixed spacing and covering them with soil is called as, and this is generally done with dibbler, and this is called as dibbling. And this dibbler is a conical instrument used to make proper holes in the field with which definite fixed spacing can be maintained, and the seed is dropped into that, and then that is covered with soil. This is generally time consuming process and not at all suitable for very small seeds, and generally vegetables are sown in this way, to have that perfect spacing and ample space for the vegetable crops to grow. So friends, here comes the next question. As per RBI guidelines, what is the target of lending to small and marginal farmers under agriculture sector as a priority sector? This is PSL lending. Generally, it is 40% that needs to be, provided as part of PSL, of which, 18% exclusively is for agriculture. Of that, 8% is exclusively for small and marginal farmers. And as you can see here, the priority sector target, it should be achieved across the various categories. It's not only agriculture, there are various like agriculture, MSMEs, medium, small and um, micro industries, education, housing, social infrastructure, renewable energy and others. All these, they come under PSL lending only. And that of the total lending, at least 40% of the total loans should be given to this priority sector, and of this 40% also 18% should be given to agriculture only, 7.5% to micro, small and medium enterprises, and while 12% is to be given out to the weaker sections. And as I have mentioned earlier also, of the 18%, 8% should be given to small and marginal farmers. This was a question that was asked in the exam. So friends, here comes the next question, and this is based on the soils of India. And which of the following soils is found in hills and foothills? As we all know, there are various kinds of soils. Of all that, laterite soils are the soils that are found in hills and foothills, and this because they are particularly found in erosion or eroded soil areas where the height is greater than 200 centimeters, and there the area receives seasonal rainfall. See, because of that alternating wet and dry seasons, which leads to leaching away of the siliceous matter of the rocks, leaving behind the compounds of iron and aluminium, which leads to the formation of laterite soils. And these are azonal soils because of the continuous leaching away, and these soils are mainly developed in higher areas of peninsular plateaus, we all know, because of the erosion. And soil color is generally reddish brown in color because this is due to iron oxide, as we have already mentioned, because they leave behind the iron and aluminium compounds, that leads to reddish brown in color. And acidity is the main characteristic feature of these laterite soils because of the leaching that happens. So friends, here comes the next question. Plants absorb sulfur in the form of, see, sulfur is absorbed by the plants in the form of sulfate ions, because the organic sulfur that is there, that would be transformed from organic form to sulfate ions. Only then the plants will be able to absorb that, and this is made possible by various microorganisms that are present, and they, through biological oxidation, they convert this organic form of the sulfur to sulfate ions, thereby making them available to the plants. Sometimes not only direct sulfur, they not only organic sulfur, they can even oxidize sulfide minerals such as ferrous sulfide also, thereby releasing sulfur sulfate ions that is taken up by plants, and this is done by sulfur bacteria or various other microorganisms. Here the elemental sulfur especially is oxidized to sulfate by sulfur bacteria. So friends, next comes, what is the optimum plant population of cotton crop per hectare? It should be somewhere around 50,000 to 80,000, or on an average at least 66,000 plants per hectare, which is optimum plant population of cotton, wherein the person who is sowing, he or she can get the maximum yield, that is threshold yield from this crop. So friends, here comes the next question, which says, in which tillage operation soil particles remain undisturbed? See, of all the options provided, stubble mulch tillage was the correct answer. And here it is a new approach that was developed for keeping soil protected at all times, whether during growing the crop or by crop residues left on the surface during the fallow periods. So here it is done, it is a year-round system of managing plant residue. See, instead of burning the trash and everything, what they do is they spread this, what are the stubble mulches, as a mulch with implements that undercut the residue, loosen the soil and kill weeds, and thereby the plants that grow, these stubbles, they already form a mulch sort of, thereby protecting for moisture retention also, and also the utilization of the stubble as mulch. So friends, here comes the next question again from PSL. What is the aggregate loan limit from the banking system for food and agro processing industry under ancillary agriculture sector of priority lending? So here the correct answer is 100 crores. This is the aggregate loan limit that can be obtained by a food and agro processing industry. And what are the ancillary activities that include under this? See, loans up to 5 crores to cooperative societies of farmers can be given for disposing of the produce of the members, whatever they, for marketing purposes, you can say. Loans for setting up of agro clinics and agribusiness centers. Loans for food and agro processing up to an aggregate sanctioned amount of rupees 100 crores per borrower from the banking system. On this was a question that was asked. Bank loans to primary agriculture credit societies, farmer service societies, and large sized Adivasi multi-purpose societies, LAMPs. We have studied about this in one of our chapters. For on lending to agriculture, and then loans sanctioned by banks to MFIs for on lending to agriculture sector. And ancillary activities also include the outstanding deposits under RIDF, and this is Rural Infrastructure Development Fund, and various other eligible funds with NABARD on account of priority sector shortfall. So these are the various ancillary agriculture sectors wherein various amounts of funding can be done by the banking industry. Here comes the next question. No-till planter, it is an implement again from agriculture engineering question. No-till planter is used for, what is this used for? It is used for sowing. It's a planter, and no-till, without any tilling, the planter, with the help of that planter, sowing is done. This no-till farming is also known as zero tillage or direct drilling. It is an agriculture technique for growing crops or pastures without disturbing the soil through tillage, that is zero tillage. Advantages of no-till: less soil erosion because less disturbance to the soil, less soil compaction, saves time, obviously, lower fuel cost because of less usage of implements or various agriculture machinery, less soil moisture loss, yes, it forms a layer on top, thereby leading to water conservation, healthier soils, If no compaction is there, continuous tillage also it brings in compaction of the soils. So that can be avoided and thereby leading to a healthier soils. So friends, next question. This is again soils. Which of the following soils are found most extensively in India? As we all know, this is one of the most common questions that's asked. It's alluvial soils, and these alluvial soils is the largest soil group in India, and they are formed by deposition of silt, especially in Indo-Gangetic Brahmaputra rivers and also near peninsular rivers, wherever the soils are deposited, generally that by silt. And this soil group covers around 46% of the total land area in India, and it supports nearly half of the Indian population because these are one of the highly productive soils, because with that silt carries all the required minerals and nutrients for the growth of a plant, and it contains adequate amount of potash, lime and phosphoric acid, but the only thing is it is deficient in humus and nitrogen, which can be added, and then good amount of yield can be obtained from any crop. And the soil is most suitable for crops such as rice, sugarcane, wheat, tobacco, maize, fruits, various fruits and vegetables, and jute as well. So friends, here comes the next question from irrigation. In which method of irrigation the field is divided into small plots surrounding by small bunds on all sides? This is exclusively check basin method, which is a kind of surface irrigation only. But what they do is the plot is divided into smaller plots, and the entire field is divided into smaller plots, and the entire all the four sides of the plot is bunds or ridges are constructed so as to form this as a basin, these plots. Now this is the main channel. When water flows into, when it is irrigated, what they do is they break open these, they make channels as such, or they can make one more channel here, the entire channel, and they make entries like this. So the water when flows, when provided here, that will flow into this like this, and then this is provided water in the form of surface irrigation. And generally these basins, they have the size of 4 by 3 meters or 4 by 3 meters square, or 6 by 5 meters squares, based on the type of soil and topography, stream size, amount of water that can be provided, and the type of crop also. Based on all that, this is generally, this is the one that is followed, the size of the this plots. And then this kind of irrigation method is very useful or very easily adaptable to small, gentle and uniform land slopes, because water has to flow properly. And then with soils which have moderate to slow infiltration rate. See, because the water when is provided, it should infiltrate properly. The depth of water can be maintained in this kind of method, wherein the entire water gets infiltrated and it can be used by the plants. So friends, here comes the next question. Which of the following is a temperate crop? Of all the options provided, the correct answer was wheat. And what are temperate crops? They need cold climate with high humidity. And what are subtropical crops? These crops need hot and dry climate for growth. And what are tropical crops? These are the ones that need hot and humid climate for their growth. And wheat is best example, or it can grow only in temperate conditions. So friends, what is the total wheat production of India in 2015-16? Since this question was asked in 2017 exam, based on that they have asked for total wheat production of India in 2015-16. It was somewhere around 93.82 million tons, and for the year 2019-20 it is estimated at a record 106.21 million tons. So friends, here comes the next question. Temperature requirement for crop growth and the minimum temperature requirement for rice crop growth and development is. See, there are three types of temperatures: minimum, optimum and maximum. Minimum is 10 to 12. This it can withstand. But optimum is 30 to 32. This is what it can grow healthily. Maximum which it can withstand is 36 to 38. but again yield will be compromised under such conditions where it has to face maximum temperatures or minimum temperatures. If proper growth and yield should be there, then it should be optimum temperature. So minimum it is 10 to 12 degrees centigrade. This was asked in the exam. So friends, here comes a question that two or more crops are grown simultaneously in which second crop is planted when first crop reaches its maturity stage but it's still not harvested. Such type of cropping is called as, that type of cropping pattern is called as relay cropping. And here what are the various advantages of this? Lesser risk since yields do not depend on one crop alone. Better distribution of labor. Some diseases and insects appear to spread less rapidly under intercropping. Better erosion control due to better ground cover. Any legumes involved may add some nitrogen to the soil. And what are the disadvantages? Mechanization is difficult, management requirements are higher, and overall cost per unit of production may be higher due to reduced efficiency in planting, weeding and harvesting. So all these are disadvantages, but there are various advantages also which we have discussed. So this is the relay cropping. In the standing crop which is reaching a maturity, another crop is sown just before the harvesting. So by the time it is harvested, the second crop is it already vegetative growth is good. So friends, here comes the next question. What is the interest subvention payable by Government of India on timely repayment of short term loan? This is 5%. See, for short-term loans up to 3 lakhs, these are called the short-term loans. They are generally provided to farmer at a rate of 7%. And here already the government offers an interest of 2% per annum to the banks. Now, now it has become 5%. The loan has become 5% and subvention is 2%. But now if the farmer pays the loan promptly, then again 3% additional interest subvention is provided. Now efficiently the farmer will be giving only 2% interest and the subvention is increased to 5% only when the timely repayment is done by the farmer. So the total interest subvention is 5% that can be provided. So next question is, which of the following is a tropical crop? Tropical we have already seen, it requires hot and humid weather, and example is rice, jute, etc. And here as per the options provided, it was rice. They need hot and humid climate for growth. Rice is it needs hot and humid, and the average temperatures that we have already discussed about rice, it's 30 to 32 degrees centigrade. So friends, here comes the next question. What is the pattern of assistance for purchasing the power tiller of 8 HP and above for SC, ST or women farmers under submission on agricultural mechanization? See, there are various schemes, government schemes, so as to increase the mechanization in in farming community for agriculture purposes, and of which if a woman farmer or an SC or ST farmer, if they want to purchase a power tiller or 8 HP or above, then they will get up to 50% of the cost of power tiller as assistance from the government as part of submission on agricultural mechanization, or the amount can be up to 85,000. And financial assistance for below 8 HP power tiller, then it would be 65,000 or 50% of the cost of power tiller. And other farmers other than the these women farmers or SC ST farmers, they'll get 50,000 or 40% of the cost of power tiller. And if it is SC ST or women farmer and 8 HP and above, we have seen it's 85,000. If other than them, then it would be 70,000 or 40% of the cost of power tiller. So friends, here comes the next question, which says, what is the pattern of assistance to set up small nursery, at least 1 hectare unit under National Horticulture Mission. And for this, the government is providing, as part of National Horticulture Mission, they are providing 15 lakhs per hectare, which is 50% of the total cost as credit linked back-ended subsidy. So friends, here comes the next question from forestry. The practice of forestry for raising fodder grass with scattered fodder trees, fruit trees and fuel wood trees on suitable wastelands, panchayat lands and village common lands, it's called as. This is mixed forestry and it is a kind of extension forestry. And here mixed forest with a crown cover of greater than 30% or 500 subject per hectare density for plantation structure, and they can share both conifers, broad-leaved species and various kinds of plants, and especially fodder, fruit trees and fuel wood trees here, and the minimum tree height should be at least 5 meters. So friends, here comes the next question on schemes, government schemes for ARD. Soil Health Card Scheme, it was launched in which year? This was launched in the year 2015, to be precise on 19th Feb 2015. And what is the speciality of this Soil Health Card Scheme? Here the government, it issues soil health cards to farmers, which they take the soil samples, they test and they give a report card sort of, wherein it gives crop wise recommendations of nutrient and fertilizers required for the individual farms, so that judicious use of fertilizers can happen. No more or no less fertilizers can be added to the soil, because they are already providing how much is already present and what is a deficient and how much is required to add for raising a particular crop in that particular plot. And here soil health card, it's a printed report which contains status of 12 parameters. One, macronutrients NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Secondary nutrients sulfur. Next is zinc, iron, copper, manganese, boron, which are micronutrients, and also few physical parameters such as pH of the soil, electrical conductivity of the soil, etc. So friends, here comes the next question. Which of the following nutrients play important role to activate the enzymes and in also transportation of water? And here potassium is one such nutrient that plays a very important role with the movement of water, nutrients and carbohydrates in plant tissues. And here this is also involved in enzyme action within the plant, which affects protein, starch and adenosine triphosphate, that is ATP production. Now this, the amount of ATP that is produced, it regulates the rate of photosynthesis. So this is very important for the plant, so for which again potassium is very important. So friends, here comes the next question from Agri Engineering. Which of the following is a secondary tillage implement? So of all the options provided, the correct answer was disc harrow. Apart from disc harrow, that is harrows. Disc harrow is one of the type of harrows. Cultivators, rollers, planks, they all form a part of secondary tillage implements only. And here disc harrow, it is a harrow which performs a harrowing action with the help of a set of rotating discs. Hence it's they're mounted on a common shaft, and hence it is called as disc harrow. And see, it cuts the lumps of the soil, clods and roots, and thereby gives fine tilth to the soil for soil seedbed preparation. And also this is very suitable, disc harrows as such, they are suitable for hard ground with full of stalks and grasses, because see, when the harrow is pulled ahead, the discs rotate on the ground, thereby that action is created by cutting and the soil, and then giving it a fine tilth, breaking the clods and giving it a fine tilth. So friends, here comes the next question. Which of the following microorganism or bacteria fixes nitrogen non-symbiotically. Friends, we have recently completed a lecture on this. What are the various types of useful or beneficial microorganisms. As part of that, we have studied about various symbiotic, non-symbiotic, and various other types of bacteria or microorganisms that help in nitrogen fixation. And for this, the non-symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria example is azotobacter. And here especially cereals, vegetables, fruits, trees, sugarcane, cotton are known to get additional nitrogen requirements from azotobacter. And this azotobacter as such, it also increases the germination of seeds. So seeds, when they have less germination percentage, when inoculated with azotobacter, it can increase the germination by 20 to 30%. This is what it is observed. And yes, it can fix atmospheric nitrogen fixation, nitrogen non-symbiotic. So friends, here comes the next question. Which of the following is or are the economic benefits of agroforestry? And of all the options provided, the correct answer was increment in an output of food, fuel wood, fodder, fertilizer and timber. These are the various economic benefits of agroforestry, and it also helps to reduce the incidence of crop failure. If one fails, at least they'll have some alternate income, and also this increases the level of farm income due to the sustainable production and improved productivity of the entire land or plot. So friends, here comes the next question. If soil has pH of 6.5 and if this pH is lowered to 5.5, then the acid content becomes how many times more acidic in nature? 10 times, because at 10 points they have lowered the pH, so it increases as will the pH is lowered, the acidity increases. So it has been lowered by 10 points, so the acidity it increases by 10 times. So friends, here comes the next question, which says, in which tillage operation organic residues are not inverted into the soil and such that they remain on the surface of the soil, which forms as a protective cover against erosion. And such kind of tillage operation is called as shallow tillage or non-inversion tillage, because it restricts the tillage operation where the soil is not turned over or inverted, and shallow tillage is performed at 15 centimeters depth of the soil only. That's why sometimes this tillage is also called as plowless tillage. So friends, here comes the next question. What is the concentrate requirement? See, there are various types of feed, of which concentrate feed is one of that. And what is the concentrate feed requirement per day during lactation period for cow? See, based on the growth or the stage of the life of these cows, the various types of feeds should be given. So of this, the concentrate requirement during lactation, it is 1 kg per day per animal should be given, and this 1 kg concentrate mixture should include 0.14 to 0.16 kg, 0.14 to 0.16 kg of digestible crude protein and 0.7 kg of total digestible nutrients. All this we have covered as part of animal husbandry chapter. This may be required for every 2.5 to 3 kg of milk that is produced by the animal, and also this should be over and above the maintenance allowance. See, there is maintenance ration, lactation feed. So over and above whatever the maintenance feed is given, above that this 1 kg per day per animal needs to be given for cow which is in lactation. So friends, here comes the homework question. So the answer to the homework question for last lecture number 41, it was covered as part of strategy session which was taken up yesterday in the night. So here I'm coming up with fresh question, homework question. So here, what is the pattern of assistance to set up high-tech nursery which is of 2 to 4 hectare unit under National Horticulture Mission? What is the amount of assistance that can be provided under this?